Walk into a jeweler tomorrow and try to sell your engagement ring back. They will offer you a fraction of what you paid for it, sometimes a third, sometimes less, which is strange for something you were told was priceless, something that lasts forever. So here is the question this whole story turns on. Who decided a diamond was worth anything at all? The answer is not geology, it is not romance, it is one company, one crisis, and one sentence. And in 2026, the whole thing is finally falling apart. It starts with a man named Cecil Rhodes. In the 1880s, diamonds were pouring out of South Africa by the ton, and when a thing floods the market, its price collapses. Rhodes saw the danger and did the opposite of compete. He bought the mines, all of them. By 1888, he had founded De Beers, and within a year, it controlled roughly 90% of the diamonds on Earth. Owning the mines was only half of it. De Beers built a single doorway every diamond had to pass through. They called it the Central Selling Organization. A hand-picked circle of buyers was summoned to London a few times a year. They were handed a sealed box of stones at a price De Beers set. No haggling, no choosing. You took the box, or you lost your seat at the table. Control the only door, and you control the price of every diamond in the world. Then the 1930s nearly killed them. The Great Depression gutted demand. The price of rough diamonds fell by more than 40%. Here is the part nobody remembers. Back then, almost no one proposed with a diamond. In 1939, only about one American bride in 10 got a diamond ring. A pile of unwanted rocks, and no one who wanted them. So in 1938, De Beers did something no one had tried. They did not cut prices. They hired an ad agency. The agency was N.W. Ayer in Philadelphia. Their job was not to sell a product, it was to invent a tradition. And in 1947, a copywriter named Francis Garrity, working late and half asleep, scrawled 4 words on a page: "A diamond is forever." It ran the next year, and it has appeared in every De Beers engagement ad since. 50 years later, Advertising Age would crown it the slogan of the century. The genius was not the line, it was what the line smuggled in. Because Ayer did not just write ads, they handed diamonds to movie stars and put them in films. They sent lecturers into high schools to talk about romance. They invented the surprise proposal, on one knee with a ring. And they invented a price tag for love itself. A rule that a man should spend 1 month's salary on the ring, then 2 months, then eventually 3. There was no ancient custom. There was a budget written by an ad agency. And to prove it was not luck, they ran the same trick again on the other side of the planet. In 1967, only about 5% of Japanese brides wore a diamond. Engagement diamonds simply were not part of the culture. So De Beers ran the playbook again in a new language. Ads tied the diamond to a Western modern marriage. In Japan, they even set the rule at 3 months' salary. Within roughly 15 years, around 60% of Japanese brides wore one. A second tradition, conjured from nothing in a single generation. Back home, it worked just as well. By 1990, 8 in 10 American brides got a diamond. A custom that felt thousands of years old was barely 50. But an empire built on scarcity has one nightmare. What if someone could just make diamonds? In 1954, inside a General Electric lab, scientists did exactly that. The first true synthetic diamond. For decades, the lab stone stayed small and industrial, good for drill bits, not rings. So De Beers waited and watched and kept the secret of scarcity intact. There was another problem money could not fully hide: the law. For most of the 20th century, De Beers could not even operate openly in the United States. Its whole business was price fixing, and that is illegal there. In 2004, De Beers finally pleaded guilty in a U.S. court. The charge was fixing the price of industrial diamonds. It paid a $10 million fine, and by then the mines themselves were slipping. New diamonds were pouring out of Russia, out of Canada, and out of Australia's giant Argyle mine. all selling outside the cartel. For the first time, De Beers was no longer the only door. Its grip on the world's supply fell from around 90% toward 40% or less. There was even a moral reckoning. Civil wars in Africa were being funded by smuggled stones. The world started calling them blood diamonds. In 2003, governments launched the Kimberley process to certify them clean. And then came the move that tells you they knew. In 2018, De Beers launched its own lab-grown brand, Lightbox, the very thing it had spent decades treating as a threat. It priced them cheap on purpose to make lab-grown feel like costume jewelry. But the strategy backfired. It taught shoppers the alternative existed. Wholesale lab-grown prices then fell by as much as 90%. And by 2025, De Beers was shutting Lightbox down because the secret was finally out. Lab-grown diamonds are chemically identical, visually identical, and a fraction of the price. And in 2026, they crossed the line that was supposed to be impossible. For the first time, the majority of American engagement rings are lab-grown, about 60% by the Knot's 2026 study, and the gap is brutal. A natural diamond ring averages around $7,000. A lab-grown buyer pays roughly $4,000 for a bigger stone. Same sparkle, same chemistry, a different planet on price. The illusion of scarcity met a machine that makes scarcity obsolete, and the empire is folding in real time. Anglo American, the mining giant that owns De Beers, is selling it off. In February 2026, it wrote the business down again, a $2.3 billion hit, the third year running. Total damage, about $6.8 billion. The company that once owned 90% of every diamond is now valued at a fraction of what it was just 3 years ago. So who decided a diamond was worth anything? Not the earth, not history. A company that was nearly broke in 1938 and a copywriter who could not finish an ad. They sold the world a feeling and called it forever. The diamonds were never forever. The marketing was. And it turns out even that has an expiration date.